again for another episode of Industry Exposed. I am your host, Tierra Amira Jones, and this episode is very complex, so definitely grab your pen and notebooks right now because you're going to need it. So this episode is dedicated to all my artists out there, everyone in the music industry basically. If you're a songwriter, if you're a publicist, if you're an artist, if you're a producer, anything, this applies to you. Because today we're going to be talking about royalties, music royalties, very complex, hard to understand, but I'm going to break it down as best I can here, plain and simple. But with that being said, it's still a lot of information, so hold on tight. So since today is going to be a lot of information, I even made notes about what I wanted to present to you guys, and I have it right here with me to follow along, make sure I don't miss anything. So bear with me as I'm going to be reading off my notes that I have for you guys, but it's like a lot of information, like I said, so let's get to it. Hey, so let's get started. So the first question you may ask, what are music royalties? Here's a plain and simple definition. They're payments that go to a recording artist, songwriter, composers, publishers, or other copyright holders for the right to use their intellectual property. So that's just basically what a music royalty is. The right to use your own intellectual property if you had some way a hand in a project. So the US copyright law give artists exclusive rights, exclusive rights to their work. So every artist does hold that. How much, we'll talk about later. So there are four main royalty types. There's mechanical, public performance, synchronization, and print music. So we're gonna go dive deeper into them later, but the industry relies on these royalties as primary form of payment to musicians. Hey you guys, we're gonna dive right in. So as I previously mentioned, there are four types of music royalties. The first one is mechanical. So mechanical royalty is music income for the physical or digital reproduction and distribution of copyrighted works. So for example, this will be a vinyl, a CD, cassette, digital downloads, and streaming services. So aside from streaming services, record labels pay these royalties to songwriters every time they press a CD of their music. First one, mechanical royalty. Next, we're gonna dive into public performance royalties. So music income for copyrighted works performed, recorded, played, or streamed in public. So basically anytime an artist goes on tour or performs at Coachella or any type of thing of the sort, this is where public performance royalties come into play. So it includes radio, TV, bars, restaurants, clubs, live concerts, music streaming services, and anywhere else music plays in public. So these are good. And another thing, there's performance rights organizations or PROs, and they collect or help collect performance royalties. So these, the top that you should know about are ASCAP, BMI, and I want to say this one out, CE, oh my God. So next we're going to talk about public performance royalties. So these royalties are music income for copyrighted works performed, recorded, played, or streamed in public. So this includes terrestrial radio, TV, bars, restaurants, clubs, live concerts, music streaming services, and anywhere else music is played in public. So there are a few organizations or performance rights organizations, PROs, that help negotiate licenses for public performances and monitor their usage. So there's a few that you should know. For example, the two off the top of my head, ASCAP and BMI. There's more of a, can I think of the third one? And obviously you must register with these organizations in order to collect your royalties. Beware of the 50-50 writer-publisher split. So in other words, you must register as both writer and publisher in order to receive your full royalty, or else you're just, if you just register as one, you only get the 50%. So that's just something to know when registering with these organizations. So the third royalty type is synchronization royalty. And this is income for copyrighted music paired or synced with visual media. So they grant the right to use copyrighted songs in films, TV, commercials, video games, online streaming, advertisements, music videos, and other visual media of the sort. This does not include existing recording with audiovisual media like YouTube videos, which is a little tricky. That's something different. In this case, you need a master use license before using. So in the case of YouTube, I mean, as I just said, you don't need a master use license before using. And this is an agreement between the master recorder owner, such as a record label, and the person seeking permission to use the recording. So YouTube has special guidelines where, you know, they could kind of eliminate the, you know, from being copyrighted and stuff like that, which is nice to a sense. Or where the copyright owner will allow you to use it, but then they'll just run ads. So that's just YouTube, for example. Okay, so the fourth and final royalty type there is print royalties. And this is the least common. So these royalties applies to copyrighted music transcribed to a print piece and then distributed. So for example, sheet music, which people don't do so often anymore, but so they pay out fees based on the number of copies made of the printed piece. So there you have it. Those are all 4 of the royalty types: mechanical, public performance, synchronization, and what did I just say? And print royalties. So next we're going to go further into understanding what music royalties means and how they work. Okay, so next I feel like it is extremely important to, now that you understand what music royalties are, to know how they work. So there's things you should know. With song copywriting, there's 2 components. So there's master rights and then there's publishing rights. So let's understand master rights first. So the owner of the master sound recording is the master rights owner. And so a master recording is an original song or sound used for reproduction or distribution. And the master right typically belongs to the artist, record label, recording studio, or other parties who finance the recording. Next, publishing rights. So publishing rights is the owner of the actual music composition. So publishing side of music refers to the notes, melodies, chords, rhymes, lyrics, and other pieces of original music. So let's understand more, what are the exclusive rights to copyright? So let's say you do have master rights or publishing rights. What does that entail? So with that being said, a copyright owner does have exclusive rights, and I'm going to list them out here. So part of the exclusive rights that come with being a copyright owner to your song, whether it's master or publishing, you can reproduce and make copies of the original work, for example, CD or vinyl. You can prepare derivative works based on the original work, for example, cover songs or remixes. You can distribute copyrighted work to the public. So for example, releasing song through a music distributor, record label, or through digital download. Next, copyright owners have exclusive right to perform their copyrighted music. So live concerts or live performances. They can play copyrighted work publicly. So example, music streaming, music videos, radio, TV shows. And lastly, they can display the copyrighted work publicly. So sheet music or photos from performance pieces. So it's a lot, I know you guys, but you have done incredibly well, and I hope you're taking notes. So we're almost done. Hey you guys, so we're almost there. So next, I think it's incredibly important to mention who gets royalties and who administers them based on role. So I'm gonna go through each role in the industry and just tell you who gives them and who is receiving them. So first, songwriters. So songwriters is someone who writes both the music and the lyrics for a song, and they receive royalties based on usage. So how much is getting played, used. Next, publishers. So publishers are responsible for ensuring that the copyright holders get paid for their music, which means they administer them. So publishing companies issue licenses for music they represent. Thirdly, record labels. So record labels market and distribute the artist's original work. So often they have the master rights to a song, but not the publishing rights, which is what we learned, right? So next, digital music distributor. So these help artists and labels get music online, on online stores and streaming sites worldwide. So they collect mechanical royalties and public performance royalties for the artists, songwriters, composers, all that we went through. Next, performing artists. So you're a performing artist, which means you perform the songwriter's original work. They do not have publishing rights unless they are also a songwriter for the song or the work. And they collect performance royalties, of course. Performing rights organizations, or PROs, that we talked about earlier, so ASCAP, PMI, and they collect performance royalties and distribute them to the songwriter and music publisher. next to last. Next to last is Mechanical Rights Agency. So they manage mechanical licensings for the music publisher. Okay. And lastly, Sync Licensing Agency. And they acquire the rights from record labels and music publishers to issue licenses for syncing music and visual media. That is a lot. So now that we went through all the roles from songwriter, publisher, record labels, digital music distributor, performing artists, PROs, mechanical, and sync licensing agencies, I hope that kind of gave you a better idea of how music royalties work and what they are and how you understand them, who administers them, who's collecting them, and kind of the two components that go into copyrights and the exclusive right that owners hold to their copyrighted music or piece of work. Even me writing this, it was amazing that there was just so much. It was so hard. I had to narrow it down. I said, oh, just getting it all into this video. But it's something incredibly important to understand, royalties and how you work and how you get paid. I think a lot of people make it sound like, hey, when's the money come? I hope this helps understand when the money come, how the money can come. It's gonna come though, so you gotta believe. Last but not least, I had fun with you guys. Look out for more videos on this. If you have anything that you want me to do another video on, or I want advice on, or see behind the scenes, put in the comments and I'll definitely be more than happy to take you up on that challenge and make a video for you. Thank you guys. See you again.